What's up, guys? Welcome to another segment of Fill the Limit Fishing. Hey, I got the question the other night. Somebody asked me, what are my favorite baits to throw on Santee Cooper? I got a few videos out there on YouTube of me fishing Santee Cooper, catching some pretty nice bass. I have a lot of history on Santee Cooper. Unfortunately, I don't have too many videos out there, showcasing all that, but I can promise you, I've caught some big fish out there. I have a decent idea of what I'm doing out there, and I lived there for many years. But needless to say, I have a few basic baits that I'm always keeping on the deck or near when I'm fishing Santee Cooper. Unfortunately, now I don't live there anymore. I live in South Florida. Beautiful fishing here. Can't complain too much, but I still use a lot of some of these baits here in South Florida. So they apply, all across the nation, but here are some of my staples on Santee. First and foremost, in the morning, I'm throwing a buzzbait. I'm covering water with this buzzbait, right? Low light conditions, when it's cloudy, in the morning or in the late evening, I can take this buzzbait, throw it, in between lily pads and holes. I can throw it up against the cypress trees. I can cover water. That's the biggest thing. I can move, trolling motor on high, and pitch, reel, for the first hour and a half of the morning, or the last hour and a half. Catch big bass on this. It's great, okay? Sometimes I run it with the skirt, without the skirt. Most of the times I'm pairing it with a Zoom horny toad. Buzzbait really doesn't matter, single blade or double blade. I'll do a double blade sometimes. Comes up a lot faster. It's a great bait, but this is awesome. Highly recommend the buzzbait. Another bait I'm throwing to cover water, especially in the springtime, is a chatterbait. This one here is a Z-Man's, just a standard chatterbait. A lot of times I'm throwing 3/8 to a ½ ounce. That's about as heavy as I'll go. And I always pair it with a trailer, either a curly tail trailer like you see here, a swim bait trailer like a Reactions Innovation Skinny Dipper, or even a crawl like a Rage Crawl. Great search bait. I'll take this and throw it up against the cypress trees, little holes in the lily pads, but you can cover some water with this, and that's why I love that, especially in the springtime when you're trying to locate those fish and their moving patterns. Colors on this, I throw the white and chartreuse, or like a dark, greens, green pumpkins, depending on the water conditions. Definitely recommend this if you want to cover some water. Next bait in the lineup. You can't leave the house without a frog if you're going to Santee. This bait is a ferocious bait. You get monster blow-ups and you catch giant bass. Okay, this one here is one I usually throw. I have several of them in my tackle box. It's a Strike King hollow body soft plastic frog. Great hooks on this bait, great skirt, doesn't fall apart. I've caught numerous 6 and 7 pounders on this frog alone, and I've had it for years. Normally I'm throwing this green pumpkin with a white belly, or black, solid black, or they have one that is like black and has some yellow in it. Really nice color. Sometimes I will even throw a white one during the shad spawn. This is, I think, a spro frog. Doesn't matter, but the white bait during the shad spawn is blowout, knockout, man. They think it's a shad, they come up and crush this. Around lily pads, whenever you see pods of, the shad out there. Phenomenal bite, late March, early April. Gotta have a frog, always tie it on. Next bait, I couldn't begin to tell you how many fish I've caught on Santee with this bait. It's definitely my favorite, and it's the #1 bait to cover water. I catch small fish, big fish. It's just a phenomenal bait. Reaction Innovation Skinny Dipper. Doesn't really matter what color. This is the bullfrog color. It's kind of got an olive green with a pearl belly swirl to it. Pair this up with a 5/0 gamakatsu hook, straight to braid, and go find the vegetation. Lily pads, hyacinths, whatever it may be. Go throw it in the nastiest stuff. Get a screw lock little bullet, the plastic. It's like a It's made by Gambler. It's a great product. It comes through the vegetation so much better. I guess even a light bullet weight would work. But man, this is awesome. I love this bait. This skinny dipper is phenomenal. Any kind of soft body plastic swim bait will do the same concept, like a fluke would do, a swimming fluke, the Gambler, big easies, the little easies, all that is the same concept. Santee Cooper is a phenomenal place to throw that kind of swim bait on top of emergent vegetation. I guarantee you, you're going to catch a bunch of bass doing that. Next two baits, more subtle presentation, but still knockouts as far as catching big fish in the spring during the spawn, pre-spawn, post-spawn. Wacky Rig, okay? I like to throw mine weighted. I like to get down there a little bit quicker. And you know, I like to have the brush guard on there. I'm throwing this bait up against cypress knees and the cypress trees, and I'll throw it on 15 to 17 pound fluorocarbon, straight fluorocarbon, and I'm just pitching to all those cypress trees. This is a Zoom trick worm. I like that combo. I'll change up the colors depending on the conditions of that day, but phenomenal little bait to get some big fish in the boat, fishing those cypress trees when fish are moving out after the spawn or coming in. Some of those deeper trees with this little flick shake head, man, it's killer, I'm telling you. It'll get them every time. Last bait that you just can't leave home without when you go to Santee Cooper is the stick bait, okay? I don't care if it's the Bass Pro Shop Sticko, the Senko from Gary Yamamoto, or the Yum Dinger. I don't care who it is, or you know, it's if it looks like a marker and it's flat and it falls like this without a weight, you're gonna catch fish out there. You can throw it in the lily pads, use it as a follow-up bait. If something blows up on this frog and doesn't get it on the first time, throw this stick bait in there. They're gonna hammer it. You know, I promise you, it's a great tool. Works to find fish up against the knees of cypress trees. You know, it doesn't get hung up. It's efficient. They're cheap. You can tear them up and tie them all day. It's a great bait. Catches giant fish, come in different sizes. I usually throw 6 to 7 inch. I like big baits. I don't mess around with the 5 inch or less typically. But you know, put a 5/0 Gamakatsu hook on there, and you're ready to go. Most of the time I don't put a weight on it. That's just the way I like it. And I think that's it, guys. Pretty much this is my deal. I go buzzbait, chatterbait, a frog, topwater swim bait like a skinny dipper, flick shake, wacky rig style worm, and a straight stick bait, man. And that's all you really need to go out there and catch some fish. Hopefully you guys can apply some of this, you know, to the next time you hit the water and catch something big, man. I hope you learned something and I helped. And if I did, please share with me. I'd love to know. Share a picture, a photo. You know, I love to see big fish coming out of Santee, man. I sure do miss it. It's a phenomenal fishery. I encourage everybody to, you know, have a chance to go out there and, you know, catch one of those big old Santee Cooper bass that you can make an everlasting memory out of. So, y'all enjoy it, man. Hit the water, tight lines, and never forget to fill the limit. All right.